All right, folks. So welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. We got some guests dropping by today, folks. We got some guests. It's a secret. I won't tell you yet who is the people. It's a secret. It's a secret. You know, they're trying to get rid of some people, but they ain't taking left. They ain't taking left at all. At all. They're trying to get rid of them, but they're just there. They're just there, folks. I'm privileged to have Member of Parliament, the one and only Julia Finance. She was here, wasn't it? Quite recently, a couple hours ago, huh?
This is home to me. Come on, this is home to me.
Shingo, yeah, she's still lingering around these bars.
Camping out.
And then we have the one and only Ricky Ramsou, Ricky Deolorine Ramsou, joining us, Member of Parliament as well. Guys, do give us an indication if you're hearing us loud and clear. We see you there, Karen, and we see you there, Claire and Shaquille and all the other folks. Do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear.
I have a contention.
Yeah, go right ahead with your contention.
So, folks, listen. Claire, hey, Claire, how are you doing, first of all? It's good to be here once again, Diane, and all of you wonderful folks joining us here today. Ingrid.
Folks are saying loud noise. Where the noise is coming from?
Loud noise. Let us try to identify where that is.
All right. Let me see. You said we're sounding funny. How funny is that? Let me see if we can check on the audio. Bear with us. Let me see. We got. Let me see what we're hearing. Bear with us, folks.
Guys.
So we're sounding funny. Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Someone is saying the voice making them laugh. So
It's
gotta be like probably a chipmunk kind of.
You know we're here to please. All right. Guys, are you hearing us? Do let us know if you're hearing us. Is it better? Is it better? Do let us know if you hear us loud and clear. Let me take the music down. The guys are saying no, it's not clear. We're getting a terrible feedback. Let me see if I take the audio out. All right. I know what to tell you. Folks are saying they're getting a terrible feedback. All right, that's not supposed to happen. All right. Still the same. Hold on, let's see if we're taking off the. Who choking you? The folks want to know who choking us. Nobody, quite yet. Nobody quite yet. The folks say we're sounding like the chipmunks. I don't. Ah.
So Kishan says your song like the zombie board.
The one after
The voice sound like Jagdio when he lies. There's a lot of different songs being reported here.
All right, we don't want that. Guys, is that better? We see we have audio here, but we don't know what's happening. Like, is them boys trying with we? Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. The folks saying not clear. We're trying again to see. We're trying again.
okay now.
It's okay now. I don't know. This will be. This will be. So welcome, Jurita. Welcome, MP Jurita Finance. Welcome, MP Ricky Ramsuru. The folks say it's a go now. What happened there?
That was all Sherrod's fault. I just want to remove myself from that. That was all
Mm-hmm.
Sherrod's fault. He did something wrong. He just liked to meddle with the technology behind the scenes here. So I don't know what went wrong. Guys, good day. It's great to be here. I see Robin is here, Dawn, Gwyneth, Kishan, all you guys. I've missed you all tremendously, like I said before. I said yesterday.
Miss you like crazy.
I'm not gonna be pulling a note. I'm not gonna put you through that torture.
MP Ricky is in the studio today.
Thank you guys having me here again. It's
Mm-hmm,
wonderful.
mm-hmm.
Nice weather. Rainy, sunny. I hope you guys are doing great.
All right, Sandra, we see you, and Carmen, we see you, and all the other folks. Yolanda, Thomas, Marlon, how you doing? You on your way to work? You home? How you doing today, folks? Dolly, we see you there. Dolly, we see you. Hello, Dolly. It's Sharon, Dolly. Anthony Jarvis, we see you as well, and Kishan, and all the other folks.
Sure, you don't see some of these comments,
No,
Don't
no,
read
I
some
skip
of
past. You gotta read everything. You
Sure,
gotta
it's
read
skipping
everything.
past the "We miss you too, baby
Yeah.
girl."
But I know. I read as baby boy. Baby girl, you see. I read as baby boy. I know that was miss me. So,
Guys, listen. I love the weather. Let me just say this. I
we're
love the
listening.
weather. Well, everyone that knows me knows that I really can't take too much of the heat. So I like the weather when it's nice and rainy. It just gives a nice coolness. But guys,
A cuddly
I'm not
feeling.
gonna lie. MP Rams was in studio with
Yeah,
hoodie
yeah,
on,
yeah,
asking for the AC to be taken off.
yeah, yes.
MP Duncan cap up, jersey and all. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
get
that kind
it.
of day. It's that kind of day. It's
Yeah,
a go easy day.
it's a go
They
easy day.
Even though it's Tuesday, it's only Tuesday. It feels like a Friday to me.
It's
they
chilly
make
day.
good. I'm trying to
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
that point. They
Quite
When is
make
the
chilly.
next
good.
holiday?
I don't know. I do not
Oh,
know.
I've been loving those long holiday weekends.
Yeah, coming up again on the 26th, I guess, as it will be on Friday, I think.
Yeah, I've been just loving
Independence.
those long holidays.
I'm looking at the photo that Shared has up with me right now, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying this is a distraction. This is not what I look like anymore. I sent Miss Duncan an updated photo. I said, no, this photo does not look like me. If you go looking for that person, you won't find that person
Uh-huh.
anywhere.
For true.
It
For
does
true.
not look like me anymore.
Better or worse? Better
Listen,
or worse?
I age like fine wine. I want to get better
Mm-hmm.
with age.
Mm-hmm. Not much
It's
into
very
wine, so
That's a
factual.
healthy wine.
I see
yeah.
Vishal there. Sherman, how are you doing? I have to touch base with you on some things.
Thank you.
Yep. We all here, Vishal.
I hope all the folks
Mhm.
in Barbados are doing fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a weather, cooking a little duck curry, drink a little quart in the afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
chilling out
Ricky
in
makes a
Barbados.
mean curry.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Not gonna lie.
Yes, we're having some for Independence. Nice hot chicken curry, Independence.
Good. All right, so folks, we got a couple of things we want to share with you, and then we out the place. The speaker at it again.
Yeah.
The speaker at it again. Well, MP Ganesh, my Paul wrote a scaling that in the papers. We're going to be talking about that. And then, we did mention this morning on the morning program, GKH Lal as well as had some comments in the public domain. He says, not the end, this whole fiasco here you see with the Ghana Press Association. He said, them boys won't finish.
Yeah.
They will not finish, and we can talk about that. But as we begin, folks, some of what we're picking up internationally, look at this. They're telling us that Rudy Giuliani said that he and Trump were selling pardons for $2 million apiece.
Mm.
According to an ex-aide, $2 million apiece for pardon. And you know what is quite strange? I don't think that's what surprised nobody.
That's what's the the irony is that it is not surprising at all.
Yeah.
Given the character that is there, I mean, anything is business,
Yeah, yeah,
using
yeah.
the power of state to conduct business is totally. See what I like what I like in America is that they unearth quickly because of the high democracy. At Green they unearth them things like this very quickly. They are
Yeah,
gonna dig
yeah.
deep into it. They're not gonna be hide or washed away. They ain't gonna be go to a judge to dog this case. Like what happens in our country. We compare it's totally different.
Using the state to transact business.
This
Not
is-
sound familiar. Like I see it in a living room somewhere. I see that. Using the state to transact business, Is who had all the agreements? Is who is handling all the agreements?
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
I on the government side,
the
he in the
Sue?
private.
So who Sue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sue, that's not surprising at all. Not surprising at all. What happened to Sue? As you mentioned, Sue, I heard Sue was supposed to be sued because he had damaged the reputation
Of the vice
of the
president.
vice president. He was going to be taken to court. Folks, these guys ain't got no shame,
Yeah. I
No shame.
I think I read an article somewhere that he's still around transacting business at an next location. Or he's sleeping. I was reading something somewhere.
He didn't live in the room, no, he's probably in the kitchen.
Probably.
He's probably coming in the kitchen.
There are speculations as to where he is, but I think the one that what we can back up to is that the VP was basically saying he's suing this man that was a tenant, and then he couldn't find
Yeah,
his tenant.
yeah.
So
And
who's paying the rent?
The house is so big, couldn't find the tenant.
so I we would only assume that the tenant was after evicted at the very least. So probably gone back home, and
Yeah.
probably easier to transact business from home for him.
Of the bank.
Probably.
Yeah.
Of the bank.
Of the
But
bank.
that was something, but this is similar to that. Selling pardons at $2 million a piece. Wow.
That's a lot of money. And
A lot of money indeed.
and the amount of person that they put under what you call it restrictions or what's the term they use? Sanctions?
Yeah.
Sanctions?
Correct. And then they're doing the most.
Yeah.
And they're doing the most. That's what, this looks so familiar. This looks so familiar. But look at this other one, the folks down there, I think this is St. Lucia, they said the health authorities have been very tight-lipped about this, about a convicted EMT personnel. The man was convicted of sexual abuse of a minor, right? Now, this kind of stuck out to us because when you start talking about EMTs here, it's all kinds of things. Chicken in an ambulance, marijuana in in regional official vehicle,
Mhm.
a lot of marijuana. This transpired here in
Ambulance carrying
Cayman Islands. This is the Cayman Islands, sorry. Yeah, ambulance carrying all kinds of things. So the folks there in the Cayman Islands, you could tell they're a little different because they were kind of taken back. The health authorities didn't want to talk about this incident here, where the EMT, one Selvin Calbrero, am I calling it right? He was convicted of child abuse just last week, and they haven't been getting too much into that. But the amount of things we see happening with EMTs and ambulances, and it's a lot.
That's twofold. It's twofold for me. If I could just interject really quickly, it's twofold for me with this particular story. One, when it comes to the child abuse, and I did speak of the matter prior on the morning show when I was saying that we need to have a system in place that we have registered sex offenders, and this is somewhere I think the country needs to go. I think the Caribbean as a region really need to look into that, because it's once and far you see these things sticking out that this person was convicted here.
Correct.
Somebody knows the story and has had some bit of interpersonal relationship with the victim or so forth. That's when you would hear of these matters. So we definitely need to look in the direction of making sure that persons are aware of these individuals, and it's sort of we protect our children.
You create a registry.
We have to do that, because we have a responsibility basically to safeguard children, and if we don't take that seriously, we're going to get ourselves in trouble. The next part of it is when it comes to EMTs. In Guyana, I don't see us, and I'm speaking here from my own personal experience. We don't have any strict systems in place when it comes to these persons and whoever is operating. And Chair just spoke about the ambulance being used there to transport. It was a chicken.
Smuggled chicken.
Smuggled chicken,
Yeah.
correct. And we have so many instances. We have instances in which the ambulance, the drivers are driving so chaotic on the roadways and all of those things. I personally, I think I did share this before, but I'm just going to remind persons, my one experience with an ambulance is I had to wait over an hour for the ambulance to get to the location after the ambulance knew I was coming 2 hours prior.
Right.
And when the ambulance driver got there, he reeked of alcohol. So
Yeah.
I have my own really bad experience when we're dealing with such persons. But with all of that, I still have to say that we have to commend the persons, the
Mm.
EMT, that actually go out there and they work with diligence, and they perform their functions with utmost respect for the patients and all of those things. So it's twofold, but we definitely need to have a system in place where we double check, because you don't want uh, persons often we often look, not often, let me tell you, in Guyana the system has been so broken that people don't trust the public system in
Yeah.
general. And we need to get to a place in which we have so many checks and balances that we regain that trust from the public in the public systems.
Ju- Jurita, that you see, that is where the problem comes. When we took over government in 2015, we had to bring back the public trust,
Yeah.
and it was a hard task of getting it going because they were the public, especially the public sector, becomes it's like a culture. You pass something, you do this, it's like a culture.
It's a
So when you
bribery,
right,
corruption in that
and
in
when
that
you try
field.
to change that thing as a culture there now, it created problems. They were angry with us.
Hmm.
I will tell you, there are people within the ministries and so on who are angry with us that we're changing certain. They couldn't make a bread here or bread there. You understand me? And people are getting disgust of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's internationally, and it's international standard is damaging you. It's not good for tourism and all these factors
Correct.
that comes
Correct
after.
is right. Correct is right.
You know what I mean? So, um, you rightfully said that we have to take action by making policies and guidelines so how we recorded um, this act
Yeah.
that is in violations of our laws. You understand? And
Correct.
then um, you have to get people now who are trusted in terms of management to double check, as you said, to proper, well trained personnel to
Yeah.
double check these systems because it's all abusive. And the last coming up to 3 years now, the whole system has been abused. You see what's going on in the public hospitals. People are lying there, fall on the ground. A man who fell on the ground.
Hmm.
You understand me? Nobody didn't pay attention. The two nurses tried
Yeah.
to help the guy up. He fell and hit his head again. You know,
I want to remind person at this point, because during the 5 years the coalition was in office, I know David Granger, and you have to give credit where credit is due.
yeah,
He did do a
absolutely.
lot of work when it comes to equipping regional hospitals, and that's something he believed was absolutely necessary, so that persons within the various regions don't have to all travel down in
Mm.
cases of an emergencies to GPHC. And what we're seeing right now is a dismantling of that whole structure and that whole system, and a heavy reliance being created, a dependency being created when it comes to private health care.
Right.
And it's something that we have to think very seriously about, because we're living in a country in which you guys, we've been talking about, we have this oil resource and all of these things, and we're still not seeing it being filtered into systems that's going to directly benefit the ordinary Guyanese. And that's the problem altogether. When you see, I note articles coming forward there with persons actually saying that the government ministers promoting private
Private
health care,
hospitals, yeah,
it really makes you sit and think as to what is the direction in which they're going in,
going.
right? Why aren't you sitting and talking about how you are bettering the public healthcare system? Why are you not putting efforts in place to actually build trust, public trust in public healthcare? And that's a major, major problem that we
A
have right
minimum
now.
bill that you will spend at a private hospital is $50,000.
Mm.
Minimum bill that you spend. The time you walk in to see the doctor, you start spending money.
I wanted to, Ricky, it's very important to talk about that, because when you look at that bill as compared to the minimum wage that
Mhm.
persons are surviving off of, you really want a question as to the underground economy and what's actually going to be pushing families economically, because
Yeah.
it's definitely the monies are not coming through the system as it should. And we did have this problem prior to 2015. We did have this problem, and we're going right back down. So
Down the current economy.
we took 10 steps forward, and now we're just taking, we have completely eroded those steps forward, and we are way behind even where we picked up from in 2015 right now. It's a really
Absolutely,
sad
absolutely.
state.
It is sad.
Indeed, indeed. That being said, folks, MP Ganesh Maipal has a letter in today's newspaper, and he points to the fact that the speaker is up to the same old ways. Same old ways he's up
Yep.
to, right? And he said that the very characterization by the speaker, reveals his bias. Well, we don't know if, I don't think we need to be persuaded by any means. I don't think we need to be persuaded here. But here is Mahi Paul saying in this missive that the speaker wrote against him, and again, the speaker's missive conveys this whole fact that he's biased. You know, we got a no confidence motion against the speaker. I wish to see that on the order paper. I wish we could see that on the order paper. But I want to give you a little piece of what Mahi Paul said in this letter in the press. Just today, you know, he said, bias. Right? And I ain't telling you he's wrong at all. Not saying he's wrong. So
Yeah, it's a state. Go ahead.
yeah. So here he says that I have duly noted, the MP says, MP Ganesh Maipal. He says, I have duly noted the press release issued by the Speaker of the National Assembly in which he has accused me of being mischievous for submitting a motion to discuss the oil spill coverage and for grandstanding and playing to an audience. Regrettably, Maipal says, the conclusions are biased and unfair assumptions. As someone who is entrusted with the responsibility of upholding the rules and procedures of the National Assembly, it is disappointing, Maipal says. Well, this is in today's Tabuk News and other newspapers locally. He said it is disappointing that the speaker would make such unfounded allegations, taking into account that he did not give me an opportunity to lay my case before the House to show that it was a matter of definite, urgent public importance.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of shocked myself because, you know, have a judge that rule. You're going to have a government that's going to appeal on for a private business. What sort of thing is that? I don't understand. As a sitting that chair, you understand it's a very important role. You have to balance the constitution. You have the constitution in Ghana in your hand. Not everything we put to parliament because we are opposition means it's negative. You understand me? We want to ensure, and you know, I went back to all these points were laid. If you look at Vince Adams, Dr. Vince Adams, he's been saying this over and over. I mentioned Parliament was going now. The judge rule against that and ensure that these people are going to comply. I think they got up to June 10th, June 10th to comply. And I think the matters also now went to appeal. And
thanks to the government.
Yeah, and I think the appeal, they didn't allow the stay.
Correct.
They didn't allow the stay. So, which means that, you know, this thing is about, let us forget politics. This thing is about our lives. This thing is about, if a spill to happen, it's going to cost us billions of dollars. And if it's going to affect the other countries, like Venezuela, Trinidad, Barbados, and so on, they're going to come after our country. So who's going to spend that money? We got to pay that money. our Guyanese and our children to come, the grandchildren, the great grands, all these will be with a debt, and they're gonna blame us as parliamentarians for not emphasize or fight hard enough to ensure that they have just a simple letter to say we will take full responsibility
Yeah.
or liability after the insurance amount. So it's insurance plus parent company guaranteed
Mm-hmm.
equal full coverage liability.
Mm-hmm.
That is the formula.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as simple as that. If they think that it costs them, they have lawyers. They're just going to do up the thing. You know what? Dear Guyana, we're going to hereby agree to stand any cost, or we're responsible for all the costs
Mm-hmm.
after the insurance. You understand? And I think the insurance was just about $2 billion or 600 million. I think.
Correct. Well, that is the challenge that we have, because here you have a government who's supposed to be fighting on behalf of the people
For
of
the people of
Guyana,
Guyana,
on
right?
behalf of Lillian Prince and Ingrid Carter and Bantu King and Dal Jones and uh, uh, Neon Harding. But instead, them people repping for Exxon.
And that's where and that's where you can bring it comes full circle with the comments made by the Speaker of the National Assembly as it regards to Mr. Mike Paul's motion. It all ties in, and here you have a
Mm-hmm.
government that is appealing a decision that is in the benefit of Guyanese. The brazenness of it is it's next level. I think that if there was any doubt in someone's mind that of the PPP's actions and their intention, then that doubt should have been raised by such action. Here you have a clear decision being put down by the judge, and here you have the government of Guyana, instead of saying, well, this is one that this is for the benefit of our country, let us go down this line. You're having the government appealing the decision, not the company. Exxon is not appealing this decision. The government of Guyana is appealing this decision. And there you have a speaker in the National Assembly that was put there by the government. So
Correct.
obviously, he has to work in conjunction with what is going on with the PPP government, and hence you will never see any reason to allow that motion to be debated in the House. And folks, I don't know, but like I said, if we have folks on here that probably had a glimmer of hope, that they may come around sometime, well, there you have it. They're not going to be coming around. The government of Guyana has been operating as though they are a private sector entity, as opposed to the government being in charge of the public business and public affairs and the citizens of this country. This is the fact, and we are just giving this, just adds as evident to what we already knew, to what we were already telling people. So there you have it.
Absolutely, Jurita. We will be saying this prior 2015. Sorry, in 2020 election, we were talking all these people they're gonna come up with vengeance to rob that treasury. You understand? And it's happening. Yesterday I had some information that I heard that some of these officials are having 30 plus companies. I got people who are sheltering for them. I'm telling you, it's revelation.
Shell companies. Yeah.
You understand me? And
Yeah. Shell companies.
and
Yeah.
I was like really surprising. So when we're talking about friends, family, and favorites, the people want to know what we're talking about. But this is what we're talking
That's what
about.
we're talking about.
One set of people controlling things.
I didn't think we got too many Guyanese would be surprised,
You understand? And
with shell companies. I didn't think we got too many of them.
yeah.
Would be
So
surprised by anybody.
when I spoke, remember when we spoke about we were at the CAF training when we spoke about beneficial ownership.
Yes.
And I think one of the minister who was there who jumped up and, oh no, we have the registry. He doesn't understand what is beneficial ownership.
Oh, you clearly didn't understand.
Exactly.
Beneficial ownership doesn't mean that you have to live in Guyana. Your company can be trading in and around the world and you don't even know. You understand? So that's a beneficial ownership is important in Guyana context. You must declare who are the parent owners. Similar like Exxon. Exxon is a parent company, but they have other companies who are subsidiaries that do the work. You understand? EPGL are subsidiary companies. But when looking at the beneficial ownership, is the shareholders now of Exxon is actually the real owners of the company.
And MP Ramstrup, as you run that, Starbuck News was following up just the other day. The ownership of a particular oil and gas company locally it said it was making a point. It is seeing on the books, a sitting minister,
Mm.
is part of that company, and so it's conflict of interest with government giving that company contracts and so on. And he says now he's not a owner and so on. But they're seeing, on the at the point of the registry and so on,
Yeah.
that he is listed as a shareholder, as an owner, and so on of this company. And he said, no, it's not me.
Well, that's why it's
That's
important.
them how them boys operate.
Yeah, that's important. Well, I hope he declare his the thing at the Integrity Commission, the company owner there.
Yeah.
You understand? Because um, that is why the registry is supposed to be so open. And comment. I'm gonna be expand a bit here on the EITI. Those companies supposed to be on that website to say these are the companies operating within the oil and gas sector.
Mm.
Same thing for gold. Same thing for forestry.
You're
Same thing
talking
for
about
fishery.
transparency.
Transparency.
The
EI
PFP doesn't operate with transparency.
Yeah, so that's going to be struck
Yeah.
out very shortly because we're not going to be meeting that report. The deadline is, I think, is in June also. And they're not going to be, they're focusing on the I think it's the 2019 or 2020 report. So 2020 report they're focusing on. But they have to do 2021 report, and 2022 is right up to them.
Yeah.
So all got to submit it. And I hope that they understand that.
Wow. Interesting times. Folks, interesting times. And again, Ganesh was making the point. The speaker keeps showing his hand. Their man keeps showing his hands. You see? The opposition could have the strongest argument. It usually does. Right? Could have the loudest nays to a motion.
But once it doesn't benefit them politically, it's not going to be accepted.
It has one comeback.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of stupidness and foolishness we're seeing trying to find its way even into the Guyana Press Association.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same nonsense.
I want to just add something to what Ricky was saying before you go forward.
Should.
And we did go to this training, both myself and MP Ramsrup here. We did go to this training on particularly when it comes to auditing in the oil and gas sector. I want to go. The interesting part that comes out is that when you are doing these training, the whole point of it is Guyana is brand new. This is a brand new area for us altogether. So we're supposed to be looking for best practices.
Correct.
And that's why we have so many training from
best corrupt practices, you mean?
different countries and all of those things. The PVP goes to these training, these workshops, and apparently they come back with absolutely nothing. They just do it as a checking off a box. Oh, we did this workshop, or yes, we were present. And when it comes to the actual information that you obtain at these training, it's not utilized ever. We went to that particular training there, CAF, the Canadian Audit and Accountability Foundation. They're the ones that was hosting there. And some interesting things came up, particularly when it comes to the whole aspect of transparency.
Yep.
One of the things that was discussed there is the fact that other countries, they have websites put up specifically, and they have seismic data, and you don't have to go and ask. You don't have to go to the level of the National Assembly begging for information because it's readily available. And we don't have any system anywhere close to that. We had government representatives there. They would not go back and say, well, these are aspects of transparency. The people at that workshop also, they spoke to the fact that it was a good thing that we were registered with EITI. It was excellent. These are transparency and good governance and all of these things. And one of the things that they did not touch on is the fact that Guyana, we were somewhat suspended from EITI, because whilst the Granger-led administration was the one that signed on with EITI, when the PPP came into office, they did not even submit one report to that body. So we have a long way to go in structuring ourselves when it comes to transparency in the oil and gas sector. Accountability is going to be major. We do not have the capacity as it is right about now to actually audit the oil and gas sector as we should.
Mm-hmm.
And we did have a lot of talk back and forth, particularly when it comes out of Africa and the way in which they have been dealing with this for years. excellent models being utilized in those
Kenya and
areas.
Uganda was there. Yeah.
Correct. Kenya, Uganda, both of them say, when they at their starting point, they did not have the expertise either, but then they had to move, they had to outsource, and then they had to do a joint accounting system with the experts from outside alongside with experts from within house, and then they before they could have brought it home completely and said, hey, Uganda is going to audit this themselves because now we are properly equipped and able to do this. We are not doing any of that,
None of
none
it. None of it.
whatsoever.
And those people, those persons from the auditing office, they were sent by the government to train
Correct.
to educate themselves free to ensure that they understand the oil and gas to help to audit the
Correct.
thing, because this is all of us money. Why don't we want to see the money spending?
Mhm.
I tell you what, we have last Friday we have started the Natural Resources Committee finally after
3
over
plus
almost
years.
2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I have tabled on that committee. I want the performance report for forestry, GGMC, and the oil and gas from 2020 to 2022. And I have tabled there that I wanted to have the contracts for the oil and gas, Lisa 1 and 2, and whatever the other contracts, because I wanted to be tabled in the National Assembly.
And I am saying that those things should be public.
Right.
We shouldn't even have
Correct.
to ask
Correct.
for it.
Very much so.
And the reasons for that is because they say the website was hacked. Remember when they were doing the bidding process? So I am not taking a chance
Got
as
you.
to what they are putting on the internet. You understand? The next thing you know is they put a wrong information and say, oh, it was hacked. It's not our website. Well,
Wow.
Ricky Ramshaw ain't going to take that chance. You're going to bring it to the National Assembly. You're going to put it into the there, and then we're going to use that information from there. So if they lie to the Parliament, you know what that means.
Yep. Well, that's why we have all the trouble circling back to our trending issues. That's why we have all those issues, particularly when it comes to motions that are allowed to be debated on the floor of the National Assembly. And it is a very sad state that we're in when we have to fight drastically just to get information as sitting members of the National Assembly.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a very struggle for
Correct.
information. I don't know, and I saw you got up on the president, the new president for the press association.
Correct.
Let's go right to that,
Yeah,
Sherry.
I want to
Can we go
congratulate-
right to that?
I want to congratulate
Go ahead,
her.
Pete.
I want to congratulate her on to going there, and I know she can do it. And I started reading the Facebook comments and the revelations of, I think I saw some certificate had name marks alone as some registered person on the thing. And this,
It's a business.
and, yeah, and I think that she just took over. Ms. Raghabi just took over that thing, and then she
Yep.
run very clearly. She run the organization.
Yeah,
She went to the
had it.
Caribbean.
Yeah, correct.
The Caribbean involvement with it.
She's well respected.
Right, and
she's
that's really-
respected in the region. She's respected in the country. Come on.
So let me ask you guys a question. I don't know much about the communication, but I just be a lot on Facebook. And there's be a lot of programs. I'm now writing some column. Shall I apply? Am I a journalist or
You're budding journalist.
Apparently,
Budding
based-
journalist.
based on arguments put forward by some persons, individuals, I will not name any.
Burdness. I can name them.
Once you are out and making comments in public, you should have some stake when it comes to the Guyana Press Association. Listen, it's as ridiculous as it is, and let us circle back to particularly what has been said here by Lal, because he's saying the battle for the
Tell
Press
us.
Association is not over. Sharon, I spoke about this just yesterday on the podcast. I said it. I said, let them take note. Let them take it as a stern warning. Let them shield themselves, because the whole issue
You
here,
did.
the whole issue here is that the PPP administration will send out their goons to make sure that they can dismantle any aspect of free press, especially how close we're getting to the 2025 elections, and that's their aim. They do not intend to get to the 2025 elections and actually have persons out there and doing things. And I can say further, they're not only going to be attacking the Guyana Press Association, they're going to be attacking other platforms, online platforms, like in the ring. They are going to come. You guys, you're going to remember remember that I said it here, that is what they have been structuring themselves to do, because it is dangerous for them when persons are actually getting information through other channels that they do not control.
Which is the point GHK Lal raised in this article, right? And he asked a question. I wanna quote the question that he asked in this article. He said, "This is not the end with them, you know. The battle for the press association is not over." He says that here's the question. He says, "Is there nothing that one special something, some extraordinary one or group in the local environment that does not cause a world of worry for the PPP, that does not cause the PPP a world of worry?" It's the same thing you're talking about there.
That
You
is
got to
it.
take over everything.
Because when you see you are the worst at managing the country, you have to control everything to convince people that you are good at it.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on there.
Yeah. And that is why we had Deron on this morning talking about how they have been the worst in Linden. Can't point to one damn project
Look at Bartica.
of any
Look at
word.
Bartica.
That's what I told him.
Yes.
Look
I
at
said what
Bartica.
you're saying of 10 is region 7.
They did nothing. Sherrod, listen to me. You know, since the PPP took office, and believe it or not, since the PPP took office, they have not one project that they can say, "Oh, we've done this in Bartica." None, absolutely none.
All the projects that they're doing
They
is a
went there.
continuation.
They went there and they cut the ribbons to the magistrate court. They went and met the magistrate court, completed,
Yeah.
cut the ribbon for the magistrate
They
court,
like
gave
cut
a speech.
ribbons.
They went over when it comes to the solar farm. Oh my gosh, Prime Minister making speech. The government, the PPP government has vision for it. Vision for what? These are things that you went and met and played. Absolutely nothing. They went and they met the stelling at a particular state. It has not moved a single step forward.
Yeah. So I browsed through it to find back this cartoon. You know, there's this special cartoon. It's got politics. It's put in the newspaper, and you know, I was looking at this whole thing here. So there's a blame. So the government, they don't never take the fault of anything that was happening. So that this in one of the cartoon, they said it's the GHRA's fault that the
I think I
Premier
saw.
defaulting on his duties.
Yes.
That's the EITI. Then they said no, it's TIGI fault. That is that Guyana is in the highly corrupt the index. Then they say there's the GPA's fault that government attacks journalists. Right? the GPA, which is the Guyana Press Association, it always Exxon fault. I seems unpatriotic, meaning that you know they're supporting Exxon. So then the Exxon is a cause that they're unpatriotic to being Guyanese. You know, so it's everybody else's fault. You
It's
understand?
not them.
It's not their fault. It's everybody else's fault that all these things are happening. But I want to tell you guys something, and all our listeners here. Don't matter what they do, they can attack the Guyana Press Association, but there's going to be a limit to it. Take what I'm telling you, because press association is not only in Guyana. It's in the Caribbean, and it's going to expand around the other world in terms of journalism. You have to get free press. If you don't have free press, how would you get all these things to come out?
But it's the hypocrisy for me.
Yeah.
That is it.
Because these are the jacobats and the trench crappos who are going to come and preach and say that we love democracy. Well, they got free press in democracy. Right? We love transparency, but they want the business out there. Yeah. We love good governance, and they're trying to mash up anything that they can control. Yeah. This is the people.
NCN, you know, I had to comment on NCN's post. NCN was pushing the propaganda for Neil Marks.
Yeah.
Coming up to that election, even when the actual AGM was called into session, it was in session. NCN posting live updates, absolutely nothing that is even remotely unbiased. Every single post they made was biased towards Neil Marks. And you're looking at this and you wonder, and I commented and I said, NCN needs to be accountable for the numerous reporters that they fired without cause.
Yep.
How dare you come and talk about free press and all of these things and celebrating journalism
Right,
and all of
right.
those things?
As I said, they're using the state asset to
Correct.
fight private businesses.
Which is a
So
point.
what are they doing? Are they government or are they private business?
But
What is it
Sherrod,
really?
I'm going to pull you in on this.
Pull me in, pull
I
me
took
in.
over this show. I'm sorry.
Go
But
right ahead.
I'm going to pull you in on this.
It's time.
How is it that the government of the day cannot utilize the resources that they inject, the millions of dollars that they inject into Chronicle, DPI, NCN? How is it that they cannot get those machineries up and running to a point in which they actually have information going out through channels that people actually go and listen to? They are fighting Guyana Press Association because the mechanisms that they control is failing.
Absolutely,
Which is
Jurita.
my point. I made this point over the weekend. The time they take to run down Nazima and the
Correct.
other hard-working journalists, go and sit down with MCN and see how you can pull the numbers up.
But they can't because they don't have anything to show. What are you going to tell the people? You're failing the press association. You're failing the business of the biggest income that we give you, the oil and gas. You're failing on the EPA aspect of the business. You're failing the sugar workers. You didn't go around the thing. You
The
can't
fisher
smell their
folks.
state. You're failing the fisher folks who complain that the fish drop. But oh no, that is not the call. Where's the Alison Red report? After that, they can't table it to the parliament. We asked for the parliament, where's the report?
Yep.
You're feeling, you go to the island gas,
Yep.
spending billions of dollars. We ask you for your financial management plan. You don't have one. The Prime Minister of Guyana is saying that they don't have a financial plan, but you're pumping billions of dollars every budget to put into that oil and gas. It's going to be a next Vitali fund.
Somebody probably texted the Prime Minister and told him to say that.
But whoever texted him to say that put him up to fail because he should have got an answer. You know, he could have simply said, you know, Mr. Speaker, I don't have the plan right now, but I will
Table it.
Was it a month, he said?
I
Layover.
cannot remember. I just know that we're not getting it, so I didn't focus on that time.
You know what is, what I don't understand in Parliament is that when these guys are presenting, they're still talking about the 2020 election. You know what? This is a deja vu. They're stuck in the past. That's why they can't do development.
I think you're referring to that again.
They're stuck. No, these guys are coming every year. Every bill they're going to bring to Parliament, the boast of how much bill they bring, and every single one, oh, is it 2020? Is the election rigging? We saw what they did the local government.
We
now
saw
that is happening.
Guyanese saw that. Who the real riggers are?
Who's the real riggers really here, man? So the thing is this: you have a country to develop with one of the most biggest resources in the world, and you're going to talk about rigging elections. Like they're happy they're in government?
They want to distract with that. That's what they aim to do with that. Distract.
But that's what Neil Marks said about the Guyana Press Association's elections also. That it was set up to be rigged and this and that. Those are the comments that I saw being attributed to him. So
that is what he call that beat down. 75 votes.
75 for 20 is a rigged election?
75 25 or 70 to 25, I think.
Yeah. 70 to 25.
Yeah, 70 to 25. Yeah. He ought to,
It's an embarrassing defeat. Let's put it like that.
I would have chucked up and just, forget about press.
At that
Go
point
back
in
to
time,
the UK.
what you do is you go to Nazim, you shake her hand, you say congratulations, you have done outstanding. I look forward to working with you.
Right, that's why you had a crying foul play. Foul. Everything the crying is foul play. You understand me? You get in the driving seat for drive, they're still complaining. What really these people want?
After the crash of the vehicle.
They're still complaining. Oh, is the vehicle bad? Not them bad.
Yeah. But this was happening regrettably, and it's sad that every little institution we have, I see Kishan says they're selling ID cards, everything for sale.
And board certificates.
What we are pressing hard for, Kishan, is get some patience with us. We are pushing hard for biometrics. You understand me? When we push the biometrics, they can think what ID card they want to think there. They will get caught on there. People fingerprint put them there. You understand me? We have to ensure.
And the hypocrite Jack, you're the one biometrics just
yes, I saw the interview recently. We thought, oh, we're going to do biometrics. We have a clean voter list. The thing expires since 2019 April.
But the same Jack about to say he can renegotiate the 2016
contract
production sharing agreement.
agreement. Yeah.
The same people, I'm just going to bring it back. I'm just going to bring more current.
Talk to us.
The same people that is actually that has actually signed a contract when it comes to EID. The
Uh-huh.
same people
Yeah.
that believe
4
that
million
we
US
are at a
dollars
level of technological advancement
Yeah.
that we can incorporate EID, electronic identification, into our system. The same people would go to would say at the same press conference that we don't have the technological advancement
yeah.
to go with biometric. The same people.
No, but they did say
Let
that.
that sink in. This
They did say that. If you look back at the IRI report
Mm.
that recently we conclude, must look at it. If you look at the matrix, you will see that they never accept biometrics. We are not technological advancement. If you look right there, you will see it. And I'll bring it up, Cheryl. I'll pull a report, and you will see that the government side, they said that they are not ready for that because they don't have the technology available for it.
The laugh is, Ricky, and I'm gonna
So
for
happy you brought
folks.
it.
The laugh is about the whole EID, and when it comes to them saying that we're not at a level to incorporate biometrics into our system, and then they're going with the EID that they're modeling off of, the one from the UAE. That EID system utilizes biometrics.
Absolutely. So I don't know what they're running from.
So,
But
people,
apparently, when we mentioned it to Jorita, I think on the program we mentioned that same thing,
Mhm.
and they're now thinking back because where's the thing gone? Is the consultant here? Is the company coming?
Wow.
I think they're thinking back now because it's not gonna do the job that they want to be done. You understand? It's gonna be.
So what about the initial monies that would have been paid? The sunk cost, that's what you're calling that?
Well,
It's corruption.
Yes,
I
because
told persons this.
somebody posed that the thing gonna cost 17 million US dollars. They spent 34 million US dollars. That's almost double. You understand me?
That double the cost for the gas to shore project double.
Mind you, the bill is yet to be laid in the National Assembly when it comes to EID.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But contract signed already.
Contract signed. Yeah. No, those are the basics of the corrupted practices.
Them boys come
when
back.
they're falling below the corrupted index, they're blaming the Human Rights Association. Can you believe them thing is it?
Andrew Griffith says biometrics is what the caring government afraid of. Why are they frightened?
No, they should
The
not be
Democratic
afraid,
government, right?
Yeah, they got a red wave. Why are they frightened?
The
Andrew?
what do you call it? Guardian of democracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guardian
Where
of
they?
democracy.
Where are they?
The guardian of democracy is all of a sudden afraid of biometrics of the truth. You know what I mean? This thing is simple. 2 million US dollars. We had a trading, not trading, sorry, a presentation from a Jamaican, one of the Jamaican guys, the IT specialist, which GCOM brought in. And the guy says this thing gonna take us at least 2 years to fix. So they had the time to start fixing it. And it will cost about $2 million approximately, $2 million to set the database currently that they have without deleting the core data, just upgrading the database system.
Yeah.
And those persons who fingerprint maybe have a little difficulties, which is going to happen, you can go back and do back the fingerprint if there exists.
Correct.
You understand? And I am telling you this as the vice chairman of the Alliance for Change Party, that if this program going to start for the biometrics and it's going to take 2 years and it's gone like 2026, we don't mind suspend that electoral process, just allow to have a clean election.
Yeah.
Banjo King says they're the guardians of autocracy, not democracy.
Yeah.
Guardians of autocracy.
That's
right
autocracy.
on.
Maybe doesn't
Right
understand good governance altogether. There's something that they don't live by.
Why are the people still believing in these guys? I don't get it.
I don't know if they are. There's something.
I hope they don't go to local government and vote. They should stay home.
Right, but this is what's happening here. I hope the folks who support them, will take a second look at them.
Well, yeah.
Right, and if they do go and vote, they vote wisely.
Yeah.
It's you got on the ballot. You got on the ballot when you get in that polling place. You got on the ballot.
Nobody would know.
Yep. Kishan says, sign off the papers to Exxon, and asking for a receipt. You better do what the judge says. It's problems with your problem. Desiree Manuel, we see you there. Andrew says, the caring government seems to be under pressure locally and internationally. Absolutely correct. Guardians of autocracy. Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Folks, we are winding down. We got a couple minutes left in our broadcast. Ronnie Caesar says too much corruption. The international community is being forced now to put an end to the PPP's corruption. Right? Yep. You have that. Guys, that's going to do it for us. I really want to thank Ricky for coming by and Jurida for not going home and still being here.
Ensure, please ensure, and your viewers are gonna hear this. Ensure you got us more regular on your program.
Yes,
so we can iron these
definitely.
matters out.
Definitely, we're going to have more of you guys. But these are the issues we're looking at today, folks. Those are the issues that we want to touch on today. And I'm happy I've had these two MPs in studio to help us to walk through them and to make sense. Because in this country, you can't make sense of a lot of things, you know. You can't make sense with a lot of things. We ain't really touching crime. You know, we touch on what's happening in the health sector. Infrastructure-wise, Jesus.
We touch it yet. That's we like another program.
Good Lord, we didn't.
We can touch infrastructure for another.
Oh
time.
yes, right. Airfront in Qatar, though. Yeah, I know that.
You would never
Frequent
believe
flyer.
the amount
What are you
of
doing?
money.
Set up his bank account then, or
all of that. You know, a lot of things, folks. A lot of things happening here, and we're just trying to keep our hands on the pulse.
You know, when it comes to these travels, particularly the travels to the UAE, there's a lot of back and forth you're seeing, and
did you went to the United States or?
that's a different question, Ricky. But there's a lot of back and forth there, and we have to seriously question the administration as to what are these trips about. If the government of Guyana is in discussion with the government of the UAE, or do we have a case in which members of government in Guyana are going to transact private business in the UAE? All right, because we all know the whole structure of UAE and how they have cemented themselves as a business hub or an investment hub, to be very direct. You know, you have to question, because we know the players that we have here in Guyana, the level of the PPP, whether or not they're going for a little Todd meeting probably with our government official or something that they could have done over Zoom, as opposed to them going there to transact their own business and have their own interests at play. So definitely that is something we need to be looking at.
Yeah, absolutely, Jurita. Like, you know, there was a financial paper tabled, and since the permanent secretary got pulled in for fitness, we didn't hear the ministers two parliaments, and he's still thing. And nobody say that if he got in government business or he got for private businesses. We don't know what's not really happening. You understand me? And
or he get pulled in for fitness too.
But you know that it has to be something serious.
Because that was the real reason for calling back.
Correct.
Was for the money.
That's my point. You know, so there, it's having to be something serious when you see the PPP actually put before the House financial papers and then not pulling through with it. You know, something seriously is wrong, right?
Yeah,
seriously is wrong.
And if it's the needed financial thing, it got to be something of urgency.
Well, we have questions for those financial.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions.
We have a lot of questions.
You're starting another show and we got to wrap up.
Wrap up, Sharon. Wrap up.
Donald McDonald, Leon Blade, that's how they stay. Keshan and all the other folks joining us. David Amsterdam, we see you there. We can say a prayer for you. We know them boys got you wrap up. You're in the belly of the beast. We can pray for you.
I didn't see David. Hey, right? David.
We can see you. We can pray for you, David. Folks, that's going to do it for us at this end. We want to thank you guys for joining our humble broadcast. Share the live as per normal. Smash that emoji button, good folks, and keep us going. Partner with us as well. We're available via all of those platforms, just for your convenience, folks. Just for your convenience. That being said, folks, we're available via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union. And David Amsterdam, send us something so that you can come and use us every day. Right? Keep us on air, David, so you can come and have something to do with your time. That being said, folks, we're going to see you on our next broadcast. Stay safe out there, good folks. Stay safe out there. Good. Stay safe until we're out.
You're out. Thank you.
Have a good day, guys.
Have a good day, guys.